Let's go straight to the point. I like this movie, but there's some problem that I want to talk about. Don't worry, I like it more than I don't like it. I mean, Demon Slayer is one of my favorite series, so of course I'm gonna like it. Keep in mind, I read the manga when the manga was ending, so I'm gonna talk about this movie from someone that already knows the source material, but I'm not gonna spoil the manga, don't worry. I'm just gonna talk about this movie alone. Let's get the visual and audio out of the way first. There's no denying it's one of their best works, if not the best. When I watch it in theaters, I noticed the music changes a lot, like in one whole scene. If one character says this line and then another character says another line, there's always a change of music, like a whole different music. But of course, one of the costs using that many music is that there's a lot of scenes that have no music at all. Thankfully though, those scenes that have no music is better with having no music, so it's okay. And the music choices that they use is, it's great. They elevate the scene so much more. So yeah, I really like the audio. The visual is, of course, we really don't have to talk about this. It's Demon Slayer. You already know the quality, and I absolutely love all of them. I especially love the Zenitsu fight. I love how the way they spam their forms. First form, second form, third form. I just love the fight direction that they give to him. As a whole movie though, the visuals for me, I think it's the best from this series. The cinematography, the direction especially, it's really fun. The background especially, wow, you can see how detailed it is, and I just got mesmerized by the animation, the background, little tiny details that make the world feel so alive, and it's really cool, really cool. Combined with the amazing soundtrack, of course it's gonna be a good movie, right? No matter the plot. So the audio is good, the visuals are good. Now there's one more aspect to a movie which now let's talk about the story, the plot, and the pacing, where some of the problems starts to show. Now, first of all, I don't have a problem at all with the general story. It's following the manga, right? And I like the story as a normal shonen. Now, the complaints that I constantly read about this movie is that it has too much talking, too much flashback. But the series and the manga has a lot of this too, and I think it works perfectly fine. But after I watched this movie, yeah, I understand the complaints because I felt it too. Don't get me wrong, the backstory itself is fine. I really like backstories, and since the beginning, Demon Slayer is just this formula, right? Fight, flashback, fight, and I think it's perfectly fine. But the problem itself in its formula and its amount. When you compile all the important Hashiras in this movie, plus the demons in one single movie, you don't get a break. Unlike in the series or manga, you got a break. That's why the flashback in the series and the manga works and no one complains, because it's not in a movie setting like this one. That's the major problem that people have. It's not because of the talking, but it's because it's a movie. If there's this much talking in the series, not a movie, I guarantee people will not be complaining as hard. It's just tiring to watch 3 acts in a row which has the same formula, right? Even though the first act and the second have, backstories, I still go through it just fine. And though this movie is focused on Akaza, because Akaza is the last act of the movie, I just feel tired watching that act, because sure, the fight sucks me in again, but I find myself dreading the backstory. The pacing goes to a dip again in between the fights, and like I said before, normally it's fine. That's a normal formula for Demon Slayer, but we already watched 2 of those before without any break, the Shinobu and Zenitsu act. So we know somewhere in this fight, the Akaza fight, there's gonna be a flashback. And normally, when you got to the end of a movie, the sequence just keep building up and eventually leads to the climax, right? But here, because of the formula, we know the talking is gonna show, and hold the behold, the flashback shows when the character is about to die after the whole fight is over. So we have to go through the entire fight while worrying when does this flashback is gonna start. And that for me is one of the big problems in this movie, because even though Shinobu and Zenitsu flashbacks are short, really short even in my opinion, it still makes the audience tired. And I wonder, wouldn't it be better if we see this arc in a series? Backstories is needed for a shonen anime like this one. You cannot get a movie with only action scenes, but the execution here could be a lot better. Back to story though, I like how the movie starts with Shinobu because it shows the stakes, it sets the tone, and it shows that important characters can die in this movie. And some complaints that I have heard with this movie is that the pacing is weird, and yeah, I can see it because I think the first 2 acts is too fast and the last act is a little bit too slow. So we're gonna delve to every act in this movie. So it has 3 acts centered around each demon, right? The first act is the Shinobu and Doma act. I really like Doma in this movie. I really like the direction that they give, and when we first first met him in the movie, you zoom in Shinobu eyes, right? And we see Doma eating human's body from the back. And I really like that. I really like his presence in that. I also really like how they introduced Doma using Shinobu's sister, where he keeps switching from her sister speaking and to Doma. I just really love the way he is introduced. He shines in this movie, and you feel the utter hopelessness that Shinobu is facing. I also of course like the fight scene that they gave to her, but I only have a slight problem with how she dies. She is a character that has been with us for so long, but after only watching her fight for not really a long time, this is her final fight, and the Doma arc will continue with Kanao based on the movie at the end, right? But for a final fight for such an important character where the next series or movie comes a year, 2 years from now, I don't know. It's a bit anticlimactic, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if the people will be satisfied with this. But I really like her chapter as a whole, and I cannot wait for the next movie exploring this act and truly concluding her character. The second part of the movie is reserved for Zenitsu and Gaikaku. I mentioned before I really like his fight. It's my favorite of the whole movie. I also like his story with Gaikaku. Zenitsu who only knows and can only masters the basic going against Gaikaku, guy who skips the basics and instead learn all of the other ones. Is a really good concept for a story, and it's like those quote who says like, I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times instead of man practice 1,000 kick for one. I don't know, it's like that, right? And Gaikaku as a character though, I actually really like it. I mean, we can feel his inexperience as a new demon, and even though he is weak as an upper demon, we can still see that he won almost easily before Zenitsu completely destroyed him with a new form. And we're gonna talk about Zenitsu because his character in this act is just really cool. It's the first time we see this side of him, and it's really hype, and I think the movie is worth it just seeing him alone. But my only complaint about this act is that, of course, it's so fast. Like, his act is only 20 to 30 minutes. I don't know, but yeah, I know the manga is like that too, but I mean, it's just a sprinkle of the movie. It goes by so fast, and I think the movie can expand him a little more. I just want to see more of him, that's all. And the problem is that the very next act, which is the Akaza, takes so long to end, and I really wish they stretched the Zenitsu part a little longer and maybe trim down the Akaza part, because sure, Akaza got the best closure, but I feel like he sacrificed the Zenitsu and Shinobu act. So yeah, that's that. Speaking of Akaza, this is where the movie focuses on, and it's the longest act, and it ends the Akaza character. Now, I'm not gonna talk about the backstory problem again, I'm just gonna talk about this act individually. Now, as always, Akaza is a treat to watch, and this movie shows his entire backstory on why he becomes the demon that he is now. I just want to say it's absolutely beautiful, okay? If we judging on backstory alone, it's really good. I also really like his fights. He have a bunch of fight this act with Tanjiro Gyu, Tanjiro alone, Mark Gyu, Transparent Tanjiro. Even when his neck got cut, he is still fighting, and all of it has no problem. I really like his closure, even though I was hoping the manga goes on a different direction, but it's okay. We also have to talk about Tanjiro and Gyu, which is a fantastic watch for me, seeing them fight together again. We can feel how caring they are to each other, how tired they are after fighting Akaza, and the panic when he is still regenerating, and the relief when he finally dies. And even though I complained before that this act is too long, also the pacing is kinda weird, but it's a really great act overall. So yeah, this movie did a great job for being the debut of Infinity Castle, and overall a great movie for a shonen. As a movie, I give it an 8 out of 10, which I still consider as a great movie despite the problems. It set up the next movie really well, but I wonder how they're gonna fix the complaints. It doesn't make the audience feel tired, because yeah, people are complaining right now because of that. But yeah, it's still a great movie. Thank you for watching, guys.